Let us tell you a story.
Hidden beneath layers of ice and time lies Lake Baikal, the world's oldest and deepest freshwater lake, a geological scar that runs deep into the crust of our planet and perhaps into the unknown. With a depth of more than 1,600 meters, Baikal holds mysteries that stretch back 25 million years. Ancient myths call it sacred, modern science calls it unique. But what happened here in the spring of 1982 might be something no one has ever fully explained. Stories like those whispered around Lake Baikal have inspired countless books. Tales of glowing orbs beneath the ice, and beings that defy explanation. But in a place as ancient and untouched as this, even fiction begins to feel like truth. It is in this eerie, isolated world that our story begins. In the midst of the Cold War, the Soviet military was operating like a machine. The Cold War wasn't just fought with missiles or spies. It was waged in the shadows, beneath oceans, inside mountains, and yes, beneath the ice of ancient lakes. The Soviet Union, notorious for its closed-door programs, poured immense resources into developing underwater capabilities. During this era, classified military divisions conducted experimental dives in extreme environments, from the Arctic to the deepest parts of Siberia. The logic was simple. If war ever reached the oceans or lakes, they had to be ready. But some say these exercises had another purpose, one not officially acknowledged, one tied to phenomena no textbook could explain. Deepwater sonar tests in Lake Baikal had already returned strange anomalies. Equipment would malfunction near specific sectors of the lake. Signals bounced back distorted, as though something massive was moving, and then gone. Was the military simply testing endurance, or were they investigating something they already suspected? Secretive, bold, and ever experimenting. That year, a group of Navy divers were sent to Lake Baikal for deep water exercises. Their mission? Test the limits of underwater endurance in extreme conditions. These weren't ordinary soldiers, they were frogmen, elites, trained to operate in zero visibility, under immense pressure, often in freezing conditions. Each had logged hundreds of hours underwater. They were silent, disciplined, and lethal. One of the team leaders, according to an anonymous leak, was a man named Oleg M. His record showed a decade of deep-sea experience. Others included engineers and even a marine biologist, suggesting that the mission had more than a military agenda. What did they expect to find at those depths? If it was just an endurance test, why bring a scientist? But 50 meters beneath the surface, in the freezing black depths, they encountered something else. Something that should not have been there. A team of 7 elite Navy divers descended into the icy waters near the lake's center. What they encountered changed their lives forever. At a depth of roughly 50 meters, the divers reported encountering mysterious beings. These creatures were described as humanoid, roughly 9 feet tall. Strangely, they wore no visible breathing apparatus, yet seemed completely comfortable in the frigid, high-pressure environment. Initially, the divers observed them in silence, unsure of what they were seeing. Then, a decision was made, possibly under direct orders. to capture one of these beings using a net. A net was prepared, a trap designed for deep-sea wildlife. But this was no animal. When they moved in, everything went wrong. A violent force, like a sonar shockwave, just surged around them. The entire team was forced upward at a dangerous rate. They surfaced too fast, far too fast. 3 of the 7 divers died on the spot from decompression sickness, the bends. Some tried to resist the pull, clawing at the depths, but it was useless. The remaining 4 suffered severe injuries and only survived due to emergency treatment in a mobile decompression chamber stationed nearby. The Soviet military halted all further training missions in Lake Baikal. The operation was immediately shut down. The surviving divers were reportedly silenced and sent to remote locations. According to scattered whispers and declassified fragments, each diver was relocated to a different site, in places where no press or curious eyes could follow. The incident was marked top secret. The official reports were buried, but the story didn't die. The incident might have been lost to history if not for the work of Soviet UFO researcher Vladimir Azyaja. Through leaks and retired military sources, Azyaja began piecing together the bizarre encounter. He claimed that this wasn't an isolated event. For those who've studied the patterns, the signs point to something deeper, something ancient perhaps, and not entirely human. What exactly is hiding in the depths of this lake? Lake Baikal, nestled in the heart of Siberia, Russia, is no ordinary body of water. The lake remains frozen for nearly half the year. But beneath the surface lies a thriving, often mysterious ecosystem. This ancient lake is over 25 million years old, making it the oldest freshwater lake on Earth. It plunges to a staggering depth of 1,642 meters, or about 5,387 feet, earning it the title of the deepest lake in the world. It holds around 20% of the planet's unfrozen freshwater supply. But Lake Baikal is more than just a geographical marvel. It is home to more than 3,700 species of plants and animals, most of which are found nowhere else. Yet, beneath the frozen surface of the world's deepest lake lies a mystery so chilling, so otherworldly, it was buried for decades by those who witnessed it. Soviet divers, secret operations, and towering humanoid creatures in silver suits. Other Soviet submariners had also reported sightings of large underwater craft, unidentified submerged objects. These craft moved at speeds and angles that defied physics as we understand them. One Soviet report even mentioned a glowing object emerging from beneath the ice and shooting into the sky. Local fishermen speak of glowing orbs rising from beneath the ice. In 2009, dozens of tourists saw what they described as a burning disc dive into the lake at impossible speed. Others report sounds, deep mechanical humming, sometimes rhythmic clicking, heard far below the surface. In multiple dives, some predating the 1982 incident, divers reported hearing what they described as mechanical whale songs, far below the human hearing threshold. These weren't natural, engineers called them rhythmic. Soviet-made sonar buoys deployed across Baikal would often fail without explanation. In some cases, magnetic interference was so strong that compasses would spin uselessly. In one log dated March 1981, a diver's helmet camera failed entirely, even though it had been tested just minutes before. One chilling entry read, "Sound like breathing. Close. No visibility. No life form recorded. But something passed behind me. Pressure spiked. I aborted." Some say it's tectonic movement. Others say it's something else, something watching. Despite these accounts, the official Soviet stance was silence. Divers who survived either disappeared from public record or refused to speak. The documents remain classified, the truth hidden behind the Iron Curtain of military secrecy. But whispers continued. Russian folklore and first-hand accounts began to merge, painting a picture of a lake not just filled with water, but with secrets. Legends of Lake Baikal go back centuries. The Buryat people native to the region believe the lake is sacred. They speak of Lusud Khan, the water dragon master, a creature said to live in the depths. Among the Buryat tales is one about the watchers below, spirits said to guard sacred knowledge and test those who dive too deep. A 19th century Russian ethnographer recorded a story of two hunters who fell through the ice and described, before dying, men with mirrors for eyes and no mouths, who pulled them from the water, examined them, and let them go. Fishermen tell of catching glimpses of enormous shapes beneath their boats, only for their lines to snap mysteriously. Strange lights have been seen dancing under the frozen surface at night. Even satellite images have occasionally picked up unusual thermal anomalies around the lake. Are these coincidences? Or could all these pieces be part of a larger hidden reality? Several theories attempt to explain the Lake Baikal Swimmers. One suggests they are an unknown aquatic species, perhaps a relic from a prehistoric age, evolved in isolation within the depths. Another posits that they are extraterrestrials using the lake as a base, a natural hidden refuge on Earth. The Lake Baikal incident isn't isolated. Around the world, similar encounters haunt the oceans and lakes, crafts that glow, dive, and vanish without a trace. In 1967, Shag Harbor in Canada saw a similar encounter. In Puerto Rico, pilots reported glowing objects exiting the ocean at hypersonic velocity. In Norway's Sognefjord, fishermen in the 1970s reported glowing shapes beneath the water that triggered seismographs. In Argentina's Lake Nahuel Huapi, a military diver claimed in 1985 to have seen a giant smooth-skinned humanoid disappear into the depths. Even in the US, naval records show unexplained radar anomalies off the Pacific coast, objects that rose from the ocean, hovered, then shot into the stratosphere. All these incidents, and even the ancient Buryat legend of Lusud Khan, share a chilling pattern. Science calls them anomalies. The locals call it a warning. High-pressure depths, silvery forms, strange light, and radio silence. The idea that Earth's lakes and oceans might hide more than just biology is no longer fringe, it's pattern recognition. Skeptics argue that the story was exaggerated or even fabricated. From a scientific standpoint, hallucinations during dives are real, caused by nitrogen narcosis or sudden temperature shifts. But even the most skeptical oceanographers agree. Multiple trained divers hallucinating the same 9-foot-tall humanoids in the same location across multiple missions. That strains probability. And what about the sonar failures? The synchronized mechanical sounds, the classified files? Science seeks repeatable evidence, but Lake Baikal rarely gives second chances. What's recorded here isn't always repeatable, it's just undeniable. possibly used as a cautionary tale for military divers. But they can't explain the consistency of the details or the secrecy surrounding the divers involved. Vladimir Ajaja. The beings they encountered were not of this world. Their technology, their physiology, nothing matched what we knew. Major General Vasily Alexandrov. The incident at Baikal was not the only one, but it was the one that couldn't be explained. Anonymous naval engineer quoted in 1991, "We were told to forget it. The files were sealed. Some of us never talked about it again." Could the divers have stumbled upon a government experiment? Or did they truly encounter something not of this world? Whatever the truth may be, Lake Baikal remains one of Earth's most mysterious places. Its icy waters hold not just ancient life, but perhaps ancient secrets. The story of the swimmers may be a warning, or an invitation to keep looking into the unknown. Lake Baikal remains silent, but the silence itself is chilling. Somewhere beneath its surface, something may still be watching, waiting. What do you believe happened in 1982? Drop your theories in the comments and subscribe for more mysteries unraveled. And remember, some truths are hidden beneath the surface,